Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Friday Live. It is Friday, the 30th of September. Can you believe that? We're almost in October. Friday, the 30th of September, 2022. I wasn't able to do the live last week. It was a public holiday here, and I decided to do a very rare thing and take the day off and have some quality time with my family. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've been live with you guys, and I've got a few questions to get through this week because I didn't answer some from last week. So last week's questions I will answer this week. But for those of you who are just tuning in, I want to wish you a very warm welcome on this Friday, the 30th of September, as we get closer and closer to the end of 2022. Amazing, really. So if you have just joined in, feel free to say hi. As you know, I always love to hear where people are tuning in from around the world. And if you have any questions, obviously you can post them below. So very warm welcome to everybody. Friday Live, the 30th of September. It's Fiona Lukis here. And if you've just tuned in live, feel free to say hi. I know we've got a few people just coming on board now as the notification that I've gone live starts to filter through the system. So yeah, feel free to say hi. Let me know where you are listening from. And if you have a question, jump in and ask it. Like I said, I've got a couple of questions already, and I will absolutely answer those for you today. But if you have just tuned in, let me know where you are. And there we go. Hi, Diane. Thank you so much for saying hi. I hope all is well with you. Welcome to today's live. So just a bit of a heads up, actually, for everyone listening. Australia is going into daylight savings on this weekend. So the time of my live is going to change next week in your time zone. So I will make an announcement about that. And then, of course, as you guys go back into what I believe you call fallback in other parts of the world, it's going to change again. So anyway, we'll muddle our way through that. I always find time clock, daylight savings, in and out of, fallback, all that kind of stuff, a little confusing. So, but we are moving our clocks forward this weekend because we're going into the warmer months here where the days are longer. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I love this time of year. It's so beautiful being outside at the moment. There's, spring has sprung and there's new flowers and just birds, and the wildlife is all coming back. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I love seeing all our native flowers and plants and bird life and wildlife and everything coming in and just, yeah, it's just beautiful. So we are going back into daylight savings, which I'm very excited about, but it will change the time for the upcoming week. So I'll let you know about that. But if you're just tuning in live, and I know a few people are just joining in, so hence I haven't said anything. I haven't said anything too relevant yet because I know there are some people just coming on board. Feel free to say hi and let me know where you're listening from. So I have a couple of questions here that I'm going to answer for you. But if anyone else has a question they want to ask me, pop it into the comments or chat section, and I will do my absolute best to answer it for you. And if anyone else is out there watching, feel free to say hi. So the first question I've got here is, hi Fiona, I bought your book and love it, and I've listened to your Friday Live since January of 2022. Okay, awesome. Such valuable information. I can't wait to watch the next Friday Live. I have a question that I hope you can answer. I have a 30-year-old son who has high-functioning Asperger's syndrome. He held a part-time job successfully for 10 years. Okay, wow, good for him. And he started a full-time job 3 months ago, and although he thought things were going well, he was just terminated. His self-esteem obviously has plummeted, and my worry scale has just been blown sky high. He needs to work full-time to support himself if I die. My question is, how do I navigate this with him? I spent a month helping him get the job and also sent him to counselling to deal with the anxiety and life-changing getting the job, which he agreed to and benefited from. How do I manage my worry now, and what's the best way to help him at this point? Thank you. Okay, great question. And I'll be more than happy to answer that for you, because I think the answer that I give can be applied to many different types of situations where something unexpected has happened. Okay. One of the things about life is that life is life is full of unexpected surprises. Life is a contact sport. There is always something going on that comes up out of nowhere. I mean, just yesterday, for example, I was in the middle of a client session and my husband came home from work and he'd injured his eye at work and had to be rushed to hospital. So I had to leave the client session, jump in the car and drive him to hospital. That just came out of nowhere. We spent most of last night in hospital getting his eye checked, and he's home now, but has to lay low for a few days whilst his eye recovers and drains and all sorts of things. But that just came out of the blue yesterday, So life is absolutely full of unexpected surprises, and life is a contact sport. Now, one of the things though that I want to address and what stands out to me in the question that has been asked is, and I'm going to come back to it here, my worry scale has just been blown sky high. So as I've said to you guys, for those of you who've been listening to me for a little while, it's not about the experience that we have in life, it's how we meet our experience. Okay. It's not about the experience we have in life. It's how we meet that experience. And what was interesting for me yesterday, my husband had a very bad eye injury in his other eye 20 years ago, which he started to panic about yesterday because it was his good eye that got injured. And he started to really panic. What if it's permanently injured? What am I going to do? Because my other eye's injured. And because of the understanding I have in my life and the understanding that I operate from, which is the understanding I teach everybody, I was able to stay extraordinarily calm for him, extraordinarily calm as he went through cycles of panic and worry and all of those normal, natural things yesterday afternoon. I was able to stay incredibly calm, and he found that incredibly calming. So I didn't take on board his panic, his concern, his what ifs, his projections. What am I going to do if this doesn't happen, and this and this and this, which is what we do, right? That's where anxiety and worry comes from. We start imagining the future. Our imagination starts running wild, and it's what I call, what we do is we start dreaming with our eyes open. Okay, you're literally having a daymare. You are imagining. Your imagination, and this is what our imagination does. It's our imagination starts creating worst case scenarios. Okay, and our mind starts racing, and then we see everything through worst case scenario lens. Now, the minute you do that, everything gets amplified. It's like looking at life through, those funny mirrors that we see in amusement parks. Well, we have them in Australia here, and I don't know if you have them overseas, where you can stand in front of a mirror and you look this wide, or you look this tall, or you look this short, where the mirror shows you this very distorted image of yourself. Okay, and we stand in front of them because we know we're looking at a distorted image. We find it funny. We laugh at it. We go, oh, imagine if I was this tall, or I was this short, or I was this wide. Like, we find it funny. So we're not frightened by that image because we know we're looking through a distorted lens. Okay, we know when we're looking through a distorted lens. So the sheer fact that we know about the lens we're looking through has us see it in a more playful light. Just the same as when we are looking at something, say a nightmare, when we wake up from a nightmare or a bad dream, even though our heart may be racing and we may have gotten a big fright, as soon as we recognize we've had a dream, what happens? The impact of that dream starts to fall away. Okay, the impact of that dream starts to fall away. And so it's very important to know, right, the lens with which you're viewing something from. So a worried lens will distort everything. You may as well be sitting in front of those amusement park mirrors where everything looks this wide or this tall. Okay, you've got to know the lens, because if you don't understand the lens that you're looking something through, you're going to take a distortion to be truth. Okay, you're going to take a distortion to be truth. And then everything escalates. Everything escalates. And then our thinking increases. We overthink, we overanalyze everything, and we become absolutely exhausted. And all of a sudden, we are living in the imagination of worst case scenario. We are living in the imagination of worst case scenario. And so many of us are living our lives like that, and we don't even know we're doing it. We don't even know we're doing it. We are living in the imagination of something. And because it looks like truth, we then start problem solving we start trying to solve that the problem that's been created via our imagination. Okay. So we're now solving a problem that actually doesn't exist. I see this all the time. I see this all the time in relationships. I see this all the time in life situations, work situations. It's quite extraordinary. And when I start to point these things out to people, when we're really looking at things through the lens of their life, their relationship, their whatever, people are shocked, like gobsmacked, that something that is an imagination, that is something that is a problem created via their imagination, is something they've been trying to solve for years. It's actually fascinating when you start to see it, and this is why things can become much, much, much more simplified. This is why things can be a lot easier. This is why I say that, there's way too much overcomplicated information about relationships, around people, around what we're meant to do, not meant to do, etc., that has us solving problems that are created via our imagination. Okay? It's really amazing when you start to know the difference. Really amazing. It's like looking at life through a completely different lens. There are people unwittingly, innocently, continuously looking at life through the lens of those distorted mirrors that you see at an amusement park, and they have no idea that that's the lens they're looking through, right? So it's no one's fault, but this is what starts happening. So when I come back to the question that's been asked, which is, how do I assist? You've got to know the lens with which you're looking for, because concern creates concern. Worry creates worry. Nothing gets solved through the lens of worrying. Nothing. Literally nothing. Because what you're doing is looking through a lens of fear and overwhelm and stress and doubt, and you're looking through a distortion of worst case scenario. And worst case scenario has nothing to do with the now. It takes us out of the now. It has us feel disconnected, and it has us in fight and flight mode. Now, when you're living your life like that, and I cannot tell you how many people I meet each and every day who are living their life like that and have no idea that that's what they're doing. Okay. This is when we need things like alcohol, real hours of mind-numbing TV where we can just switch off, where people will engage in lots and lots and lots of busyness so they don't feel anything anymore, right? Nothing like being extremely busy and then collapsing in an exhausted heap at the end of the day to avoid experiencing anything. But of course, the problem with that is you are missing so much. People don't know the price that they are paying. They are missing, okay, this is very important. They are missing out on this beautiful, deep, rich connection with themselves, with life, and with others. I cannot explain to you how precious that is. I was on a call with my Relatable students on Wednesday night, and there was a gentleman there, lovely, lovely man, who's been doing the program, and not for that long. I think he might be 5 weeks in, 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in. He said, Fiona, everything that you're telling me, I'm now experiencing it. He said, I cannot believe how different the quality of my life is. He said, I just see everything so differently. My mind has slowed down. I'm showing up differently to the people in my life. He said, I feel incredible. I'm just noticing things that I just never noticed before because I was so busy minded. The quality of the feeling I live my life in is, he said, I can't, it's beyond words. He said, whenever you say that people don't know the price that they're paying when they're living through a distorted lens with worry and concern and fear and overthinking and overanalyzing, he said, you're right. I had no idea of the price I was paying. I had no idea of how good I could actually feel. And this is what's on offer, because ultimately in life, that's what you're left with. The quality of the feeling you're in is ultimately what we are left with when everything is said and done. When you've bought that new dress, when you've moved into that new house, when you've finished your renovation, when you've gone on that holiday, right? When you've met the love of your life, whatever it is, what you're left with is the quality of the feeling you're in. Now, when we look at life through this lens that I'm talking about, we miss that. We miss it completely. And it is what creates richness and depth and joy and all the things that I know people are looking for. Peace of mind, groundedness, this incredible sense of self, where you lived your life through an empowered lens, so that when life does hit, just as I was describing, the incident with my husband's eye last night, with this person's son who's lost their job unexpectedly. When life hits, as it does for all of us, okay, Every single person on the planet has experiences like this where the rug gets swept out from under them, okay? Whether it be someone telling you, I'm leaving you after 30 years of marriage, and you had no idea it was coming. Whether it be that, you lose your job and you didn't see that coming. Whether it be one of your children moves overseas permanently and you know you're not going to see them very often. Whether you get a health diagnosis, whatever it is, if you can come back to that space, this rich groundedness within yourself, your ability to handle those things is off the charts. Truly, it's off the charts. So, as a long-winded answer to your question, but I really wanted to deal with anyone who's dealing with something unexpected, because the answer is the same. Okay, the answer is the same. Number one, you've got to know the lens that you're looking through. You've got to be able to, and this is why I keep saying to everybody, you need to navigate you first before you navigate life. This is the missing thing in relationships that people are not taught. We're taught, oh, you've got to communicate this way. You've got to go on date nights. You've got to spend time together. You've got to know each other's love languages. Blah blah blah. Right? And all of that may be valid, but if you are not navigating yourself any differently, none of those things will make a heck of a difference. Not long term, not in a depth or richness of experience that actually creates long term sustainable change that changes the trajectory of everything. This is what I'm referring to. Okay. You got to know how to navigate you. This is the missing piece for everybody. So for this person who's come in worrying about their son, what you've got to do is bring an incredible sense of calm and peace to this situation so that your son has a sense of calm and peace, because he will find it harder to find a job when he's panicked and worried. And because you are the parent, he's looking to you for leadership, right? He's looking to you for leadership. So if you're frightened, he's frightened. Okay? It's no different. And I relate this often back to horse riding or being around an animal, because our energy is something that everybody picks up on. If you're riding a horse, and my daughter's learning this, that the horse is always a reflection of you. Always, always, always. So if you're nervous or worried about the tree blowing in the distance and thinking, oh, the horse is going to shy, the horse will shy because it's on your mind. If it is not on your mind and you're just thinking about moving forward, the horse will be a reflection of that. Or if they do shy, it's short-lived because the leader, which is you, is not concerned. And so it's very, very important to understand that when you are not concerned, the people around you are not concerned. When you can bring a sense of calm and clarity of mind is far, far more valuable than a worried, cluttered mind. All right. When you can bring a sense of calm, clarity of mind, you get access to fresh thinking. You know how to navigate you. You're doing that first before you bring anything else to other people's situations the rest of your life. The impact is extraordinary. Okay. Now, this is so impactful on every single relationship in our lives. All right. And it has no difference, right? Or it makes no difference to whatever the situation is, wherever the rug has been pulled out from under your feet or the feet of somebody else who you love and are close to, right? That's what you've got to know. You bring that to the table. That's the greatest thing that you can do for your son, is because you're letting them know, okay, yep, these things happen. This is life. This is the nature of life, right? Because it is. And the most helpful thing is not getting him a job straight away, because yes, I get that's important, but helping him see that this is a normal, natural part of life and he's got everything he needs to handle it. And you said he's got high functioning Asperger's. So he absolutely can handle this. What he needs is the knowing that he can. And what he needs is to see it in you. All right? Because this has such a profound ripple effect, how you show up to things. And this is what my students are learning, my private clients are learning is, oh my goodness, how I show up has such a profound ripple effect on everything and everyone around me. I had no idea of what I was capable of bringing out in another person. And it's such a wonderful thing when the penny starts to drop and people really see this in real time in their lives. So I hope that answers your question. And I hope for anybody going through something unexpected and this is happening to all of us every day, that helps you, because there is a way to navigate anything and everything very differently, right? We are not at the mercy, as much as we think we are, of our circumstances, situations, or someone else's behavior. We have a lot more power than we realize. A lot more power. Okay. Um, oh, hello, darling. My husband's just commented. That's my hubby. Hi, thanks for being calm. Love you. I love you too, darling. Thank you. I can't believe you just commented on my live. My husband's very shy. He never normally does that. Thanks, honey. Appreciate that. So anybody else have a question or anything you want to ask about that, feel free to pop it in below. Or if you're just tuning in and you want to say hi, feel free to do so. Always love to hear where you are listening in from. And this is a historical moment on my Facebook Live, because my husband has actually commented, which is highly unusual. Love that, darling. Good. I know that's way outside your comfort zone. So awesome. Good for you, honey. Okay, so anybody else want to say hi? Feel free to do that. And I'm going to go to the next question. All right. Hi, Fiona. Firstly, I want to thank you for doing the Friday lives. They really make me think and are very helpful. You're very, very welcome. Your live on the 16th of September about us being spiritual beings first really struck a chord with me, and I do agree with this. I also listened to the live about bringing goodwill to a relationship, which have all helped my situation. You often mention that people have yeah buts, and I do. Okay, cool. I feel mine is quite a big one. My situation is that my husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer last year. Prognosis is 5 years, maybe 10. Who knows? But most likely his life will be shorter than we had hoped. I'm so, so very sorry. I truly am. I am so, so very sorry. We've had a bumpy ride this last year processing all of this. We have, of course, had many talks about it and realize it's better to appreciate all the good things in life and make the most of it. But even when we are doing this, there's often a sadness that accompanies the wonderful moments. I can imagine. My husband has days where he's so low he just sleeps. We both know that part of this is the drugs he's on, and they are being managed quite well by the hospital. But it's that he is finding the prognosis and many changes to his life difficult sometimes. Do you have anything to say that might help him, please? I'm guessing it's to trust the bigger picture and make the very best of life you have left. But his human brain and mine find this hard some days. Many thanks. Oh, thank you so much for sending in your question. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm very, very sorry that you and your husband are going through this experience. I truly, truly am. Okay. I'm going to come back and read probably come back to the question a couple of times in order to be able to answer that. Hey, Vanessa, thanks for saying hi. You're in Cairns. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Lee, you're on holidays in Mexico. Are you? Lucky, lucky, lucky man. Good for you. I love that. You're on holidays in Mexico. How wonderful. Good for you. Susan, hi, greetings from not so sunny Florida this time. I'm so sorry to hear that you've been hit with that tornado, Susan. I really hope that you haven't sustained too much damage. I hear it's been really, 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 really shocking for you guys over there. So my sincerest best wishes to you. I really hope that you're okay. Hello, Mercury. Mercury, hello. I hope I've pronounced your name properly. I do apologize if I haven't. Welcome. Thank you for saying hi. Love it. Anyone else who wants to say hi to me? I do appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just answering this question. I have just answered a previous question about what to do when life knocks the wind out from your sails, or when the unexpected happens. And now I'm answering this question about this couple who are going through a terminal cancer diagnosis, and the way they're navigating that. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate how beautifully you've written your question and positioned it. There's an incredible amount of wisdom in the way you've even shared what you and your husband are going through. So it gives me a really strong sense of the beautiful soul that you are, and the amazing connection you and your husband have, just in the way you phrased that question and shared your experience with us. So I really want to thank you for that. I can feel it, the incredible bond that the two of you have, and you're. I obviously can feel that you are going through this as best you guys already can. I can feel that already, and I really just wanted to point that out because one of the things about the human experience or the nature of the human experience is it's very much like this. Okay, this is the nature of our experience. So when I refer to the nature of something, I'm talking about something that is bigger than us. You can't change that. This is how it is, which is why there are days where you feel better equipped to handle his prognosis and the journey than others. And that isn't going to change. Okay. There are days where you feel like you're appreciating all that life has, that you're seeing the bigger picture, that you're seeing the beauty in things and you're doing really well. And there are days where you're going to feel like that is miles away. Now, I just want to say, first of all, that is completely normal and natural. And this is going on in our lives each and every day, regardless. Okay, it is. And you can't change that. Even someone whose life is seemingly perfect, so maybe they're in the best of health, they're really, really wealthy, they're in a completely loving relationship, they've got everything they want in life, they will still be having that experience because it is the nature of experience itself. Okay, you cannot change the nature of something. All you can do is work with it, but you have to understand it first, right? To be able to work with it. This is why I use the analogy of the weather so much, because we understand the weather and we understand the nature of the weather. We work with it. We work with it. Okay, rather than resist it. The minute you resist something, your suffering goes through the roof. All right, goes through the roof. Now that is neither right nor wrong. You just have to understand the repercussions of resistance. Okay. Now, we only resist something when we don't understand it, when we're frightened. There is nothing wrong with being frightened, by the way. We're not here to avoid being frightened or sad or avoid things. That's not the purpose of this, right? The purpose, in my opinion, it's just my humble opinion. You can agree with it or disagree with it. The purpose for many of us here is to have as many experiences as possible and move through them with humility and grace wherever we can. Okay. The minute we're resisting everything, and so many of us do that by shutting down, by getting busy, 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 so we don't feel anything, by drinking too much so that we can obliterate ourselves, by watching mind-numbing hours of reality TV or whatever, so we can escape our moment of now in our lives. Again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but just to understand what you're actually doing when you do that. Okay, we're avoiding what we miss out on is connection. Deep, rich levels of connection, and I don't care who you are. And I've worked with many, many different people all over the world. And I don't say that to big note myself. I say that to say, I feel that I have the knowledge and experience to make the statement I'm making. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're running a multi-million-dollar business, and I've worked with people who are, whether you're people who are, artists who live at home and living off the grid and live a simpler life. It doesn't matter. We're all looking for that deep richness of connection. We all want it. Okay. We all crave it. And when we don't know how to access it or we don't understand what's on offer, we will do everything we can to avoid the feeling of loss that brings. Okay. So just coming back to the question that I'm referring to, I want to just point out that first of all, it's entirely normal and natural, and that feeling won't change. That there are days where you feel low, he feels low, okay, and there are days where you do not. And so, the minute we expect those days to be lessened or different or to change, okay, is when everything gets much, much, much harder. You want to be in a position where you are working with those days. You're more accepting of those days, and you are resisting them because that just will send the suffering up really sky high. So, for example. Why do I have to feel like this today? It's not fair that I feel like this today. And if you are having that experience, right? Like, this is what I mean. It's completely normal and natural and okay to be having that experience. This is where your experience is in this moment of now. This is where my experience is. Okay. That's just where it is in this moment of now. The other thing that I want to point out to you is your greatest asset and guide is wisdom. And there's a lot of wisdom in some of the things that you've said here. And I'm going to point some of those out because sometimes wisdom is harder to see because it is so much more subtler. Okay. Wisdom is very, very subtle. So it can be harder to see. all right? But wisdom is absolutely your greatest ally, friend, and asset here. So I really want to point that out to you, okay? That wisdom is your greatest guide. So, for example, you're saying here, we've had many talks about it and realize it's better to appreciate all the good things in life and make the most of it, right? That's wisdom. You got to understand that's wisdom. And that realization, that insight, so realizations and insights, that's wisdom tapping you on the shoulder. And I want you to know wisdom is this beautiful calming force in our life because it shows us we're not alone, that we are in partnership with something bigger than us. And it is your spiritual self talking to you saying, hey, little human, it's okay. I'm right here. You are not on your own. It may feel that way. It may look that way, but I'm right here with you every step of the way. Here is an insight that will give you comfort right now. This is true of all of you, okay? Everybody. Here is an insight that will give you comfort right now. Now, because we're not taught this stuff, we don't see the power in these things. We just see them as, oh, okay, I've had this nice thought. But this is wisdom. This is a gift that you've been given that gives you comfort in that moment of now. So, a very big part of my relatable program and other things is helping people see wisdom and to recognize that, because it has an amazing impact on our levels of calm and then how much we buy into our imagination and how we show up in so many things. So the other thing I just want to point out to you is that wisdom is right there assisting you, and I can see it just in what you've written in your question, and that this is something that you can draw a lot of comfort from as you move through this really challenging time, okay? And even what you're saying here's more wisdom. I'm guessing, it's to trust the bigger picture and make the very best of life you have left, right? Yep, there's wisdom as well. But it's also recognizing that is not also possible, all right? So what I want to say to you is enjoy those moments when you can see that and be okay with the moments where you cannot. Because that is exactly what's going to happen here. No matter how much you resist it, try and fix it, change it, manage it, there's going to be moments where you see the beauty in something, where you're connected to that, where you realize it, where you're overwhelmed with love and all those things. And there are going to be moments where that feels like it is a million miles away. And this is a completely normal, natural thing. And it is our ability to move through those moments and trust that those moments are temporary and you'll come out the other side of them. These are the things that give us incredible comfort whilst we are partnering with the knowing that wisdom brings. And when I say partnering, it's partnering with life. It's being able to see and understand and recognize wisdom, and then getting a lot of comfort in knowing that it's right there, always partnering with you to assist you, okay? In every aspect of your life, no matter what you are going through, you will see it in things that your partner says and the way they move through their experience, and you will see it in yourself and the way that you move through yours, and what you're able to bring to the table as he moves through his. It's quite extraordinary. And the only other thing I can say is love is the most powerful force in the world. It truly, truly is. And just keep loving each other, as best you can, even though you're going to have moments where it feels really horrible and unfair and sucks and all of those things. And for that, you have my greatest, blessings, wishes as you move through that. It's such a unique experience. No one knows what it's like. My younger sister was diagnosed with aggressive breast cancer just before the year before COVID hit. And, all I can say is, as a family, we all have this understanding. My sisters, my parents, we all have it. And we were all so grateful that we had this understanding, because we drew from it continuously as she moved through her journey with very aggressive breast cancer and what that meant and still means in her life to this day. So, there's a lot to be said for knowing how to and being able to partner with life, because there are times where we absolutely need that and draw comfort from it. And it's incredibly empowering, and it is very, very powerful in your relationships. Okay. So I hope that helps. Now, I know there's a few people here who've left comments, so I want to say hi to you. Stranger Beans. Hello, stranger. Stranger Beans. Hi, thanks for saying hi. You're on YouTube. It's nice to see there's a YouTuber out there listening to me, someone on YouTube. My name is Charlie. I'm 8, and Andrew Tate is my role model. I don't even know who. Oh, is that someone? Probably. I'd say trolling me. Okay, we'll leave that one. Hey, Cecily, how are you, darling? Nice to see you. Really, really nice to see you. Thanks for saying hi, darling. Vanessa, hello. Thanks. This really resonates and I need to hear it right now. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. I love to hear it. Peter, hi, Fiona. I believe that my human and my wisdom are learning to understand and accept each other, and this is so powerful and calming. You're very welcome. Thanks for your comment, Peter. I do appreciate it. And hello, Brian. Hi, darling. Thank you so much for saying hi. It's always lovely to hear from you. So I'm almost at the end of time. So I just wanted to check in. Some of you have given me some feedback here that you found this helpful. And I know some of you might be listening and think, what has this got to do with relationships? And, I just want to acknowledge that for a second. It's got everything to do with relationships, okay? Because when it comes to relationships, we are always in relationship with something. Every second of every day, we are in relationship with something, whether it's with ourselves, with life, with another person, okay? We are in relationship with something. And so being good at relationships, knowing how to do that well, that relatable piece, okay? Knowing how to do that relatable piece is an essential life skill. I'm working with a lady who, a couple who came to see me recently because their marriage is in trouble. And I was just having a session with her yesterday, and she said, Fiona, I've been telling everyone that they need to do relatable. I've been telling everyone should know this. She said, we've come to you because, we're having problems. But she said, everyone should do this, whether they're having problems or not. She said, I can't believe how helpful this has been to me, to us, in what we're learning and what's changing. And she said, I'm just telling everyone, don't worry if you've got a problem. You don't need to. You just need to know this stuff. And it's true, we do, because, whether we're in crisis mode or not, life is always bringing something unexpected. And what you want to be able to do is move through your experiences differently, because this impacts the quality of your life and your relationships. Okay, think about it. If you've had a shocking day at work and you're carrying that and you bring it home and you spray that all over everyone when you walk in the door, and I know this happens all the time, the whole family goes down. Okay, and then as you see the whole family go down, you then get guilt ridden. Oh my God, why did I do that? I shouldn't do that. I do this all the time. What does the matter with me? And we've got all this going on. You go down even further and it ripples out for days, all right, until everyone gets over it. And then the same thing happens, right? Now, this is stuff that does not need to be there. You don't need to move through your experiences that way. There is something else on offer. And that's what I want you to know. You are not stuck in an experience. Even if you can't change, okay, the job you're in or where you live or the person that you're around, you're still not stuck in your experience of that. It is not a fixed experience, even though I know it looks that way. All right. Okay, everybody. I know that as always, people are wanting to know how they can find out more about this. I teach this understanding via my 8-week online program, Relatable. There's a number of people on this stream who are in that program. Quite a few people on this stream actually. So if you've got a question, you can ask them that. You can find out more here. Hey, Brian. I don't have any available appointments today at all, but I would love to have a chat with you. Actually, there is a question I want to ask you because I've got a, there is a question I want to ask you for someone else who's, but I'll come back to that. If you want to know more about Relatable, you can go through the links here. Otherwise, if you have a question you want me to answer, you can do so at hello@fionalukis.com.au, and I will answer it for you next Friday. Although, all going well with my husband's eye, next Friday we are going on a little bit of a trip. So I'll probably do my Facebook Live from our trip. We bought this really old vintage caravan, 1986 Franklin, that had been done up earlier this year, and we haven't had a chance to go away in it yet, and we're going away next Friday and Saturday, and I'm very excited. So I will be I'll be doing my live from our vintage van wherever we end up. That's if my husband's eye is well enough to travel by then. All right, everyone. Lots of love to you all. Thanks for the comments and your questions, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.